Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Tierney Caulfield and I'm a YouTube singer on here on YouTube. And if you're watching, welcome YouTubers. And it's good to have you watching my channel for whoever's watching. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I would highly recommend you subscribe/suggest that you subscribe. So this is going to be a cover request that was requested by somebody. Unfortunately, I don't remember their name, but I do know they have come across my channel recently and they actually gave me some really positive feedback. So thank you. They wanted to hear With Arms Wide Open by Creed. So that's what this cover request is gonna be. So I hope you all enjoy. All right. Close my eyes, begin to pray as tears of joy stream down my face. With arms wide open under the sunlight, welcome to this place. I'll show you everything. With arms wide open, with arms wide open.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Going the Distance, the Rocky Series podcast. I am your host, Ryan, and with me today, as always, is Kyle and Katie. You guys look very happy and beaming.
Yes.
Look at that smile. There's a Kyle smile. Well, I'm excited because we're just going to go right into it. We don't have any emails, I'm not excited that we don't have any emails, but we don't have any emails. But before we get into that, if you want to be a Patreon supporter and help pay for the feed, check us out in our description with this episode. Also, join us on Facebook, join us on Twitter. If you want to email the show, gtdwithrr@gmail.com. Regarding Twitter, Kyle, no new followers, I'm sorry. But I think people are doing that on purpose now, just so I have to say that every week. But
Kyle.
But Katie, you've got 2 new followers, and maybe you could help explain these to me. One of them is Golden Girls Forever.
Well, I think I follow them. I'm a fan of the show Golden Girls.
I like it too.
It's so good. Some things don't hold up well. It's on, and it keeps getting this resurgence of an audience, young millennials and people.
My 7-year-old likes Golden Girls.
It's good. I grew up watching it with my grandma, and now that I'm old enough to get the humor, there's a lot of sexual humor.
Mm.
Oh yeah, like Blanche. Yeah. I never got any of the Blanche jokes when I was a kid.
Well, and there's a Burt Reynolds episode. I don't know if that's really good.
I used to watch it too when I used to watch all the TV shows, even from McMash and everything, Silver Spoons. I watched all of those TV shows.
Yeah.
And I watched Golden Girls. I guess I was old enough that I knew that Blanche was horny. I recognized, she just likes to fool around. I didn't know what the verbiage I used at that age, but I knew that she was always excited about things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because they seem, anyway, so I like the show. Very, it's literally one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
Okay.
And so I follow them. And
nice.
So they must have followed me back.
And VG Recipes. So let me read this one here. It says, what do vegans eat? The popular question is, what do vegans eat? It isn't hard, and very simple changes need to be made to become vegan. It may take some time. What? This is a horrible bio. They repeat the question, and then they say, it isn't hard, and very simple changes need to be made to become vegan. It may take some time. So is it hard, or is it not hard? Is it simple?
No. I mean, I don't think it's hard. Anything you can eat, I can eat vegan. That's what vegans eat. I'm not just eating lettuce.
I actually converted to veganism last year.
Love it. Love everything about it.
I like it.
Are you vegan too, Kyle?
Yeah, I haven't been for that long.
Okay.
But it wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it would be.
I did it for about a year-ish, but...
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know you did that.
Mm-hmm. You name the diet program, I've probably done it to some degree.
Yeah.
I'm not really doing it as part of a diet.
Right.
It's more, I don't know, changing my perspective. I'm not comfortable with animal products like I was before. I'm pretty open-minded towards people who aren't vegan. the rest of my family isn't vegan, and it's no big deal to me.
Like Rocky, I tell the wife, go prepare me some meat in the kitchen.
Just make the meat, okay? Just make the meat.
I hope you go apologize afterwards.
Then I just pound meat later.
Yeah.
So, well, without further ado, we last left off with the fight, or the fight was about to begin. Both fighters have entered the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Goodison Park here in Liverpool, England, where tonight, this is the main event. 12 rounds of boxing for the light heavyweight championship of the world. For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
So I wonder how much Michael Buffer's made off that.
Let's get ready to rumble.
And I also wonder when the first time he ever did it, because there was a time he did it for the first time. Can you imagine there's a crowd there or whatever, and they're like, okay, you're up. The people that hired him knew that he's going to, like, did he audition? He's like, hey, I got a great way to introduce the fighters. Okay, check it out. You know, like, I just wonder how it was first presented that he does the big, let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, I guess probably things have been tried from time to time, and they kind of gauge how the audience reacts, and people really like that one. So, plus his voice is just great. He did a really good episode on Mike Tyson's podcast, The Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson.
Oh.
Or Mike Tyson, and there's this other guy, I don't remember his name, but he's like an NFL player, or I think ex-NFL player. He and Mike Tyson do a podcast, and they smoke weed on the podcast, and then there's some person there. This guy's been on it. It was cool to hear this guy speak outside of his catchphrase, let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, cool. You know what? I actually thought about reaching out to him. So, I don't know. You never know unless you ask. I've asked the guy that does the Stitches dude. Like
Stitch.
Yeah. I reached out to him. I reached out to Tony Bello, Danny Wheeler. I forget his real name. No response. It's all good. Actually, Tony Bello was really hard to... Some that don't have like legit like email, like some of them have web pages and they have a contact, little tab that goes to whoever the representative is. But
right.
Yeah,
I guess you got to keep trying, and somebody will bite. But that's awesome.
Well, I know we're nobody, and I'm nobody. Of course, Mike Tyson gets Buffer, right? It's because he's Mike Tyson. I'm okay with celebrities doing podcasts, but it really deludes little peons like us being able to get anybody because it's like I don't have a name.
Seemingly everyone has a podcast now.
Yeah, I know.
But you've had some really top tier guests on.
You punch above your weight in terms of being able to get people on the podcast with notoriety. Like the fact that you've been able to get people who've been on the film and had major roles, that's pretty impressive.
Oh, thanks. I'm just going to look at the Creed cast one last time between this recording and the next one, just to see if there's anyone I could have maybe just reached out to. But yeah, it's all good.
This Padman's son, this kid, Amir, I think is his name in the movie.
The one that was all mad at Adonis for coming to his gym? Sure. Yeah.
I wasn't Creed, but have you reached out to Steps?
we kind of ragged on him.
That's hilarious. Yeah, he might.
Whatever, he doesn't know. He probably doesn't listen, right?
Right.
Yeah, he would never listen. Yeah, well, we ragged on Robert Tepper forever, and then we got him on the show. I don't know if you remember that, Katie. We were listening through with we'd always make him the butt of the joke that Robert Tepper was, dogging us. He used to interrupt the show, and we'd say he was too big for the show and stuff.
I don't have the best memory.
That's okay. Well, it's a lot of episodes, and it's a while back. But we got him on, and we told him that we did that.
That's right. I do remember that.
We're like, thanks for
bearing. That's the best song, though. No Easy Way Out is.
It's a wicked song. It's a wicked song.
Yeah, it is. Kyle, I was going to ask you. I think I've been meaning to ask, and I'm just lazy and haven't ever looked it up. When did it change from 15 rounds to 12, or is it only heavyweights that are 15?
I don't remember the exact year it changed from 15 rounds to 12, but it was in the 80s sometime.
Oh, geez. A long time ago then. Okay.
Yeah. It's been like 35 years that it's been 12 rounds now, which is kind of unfortunate because those last few rounds are the championship rounds, and now we don't see them anymore.
No. Mm-hmm. Well, we don't Google stuff on this show, as you know. We do no prep, and we don't know what we're doing. So Michael Buffer's introduced the fighters. We also got an image there of Marianne. She's watching the fight at home.
wearing the stars and stripes. His professional record, 16 fights, 16 victories. The challenger, Adonis, Hollywood Creed.
Now, I forgot that he took that nickname, Hollywood.
I kind of had too. I like it.
Which is weird because it's like Sperino gave it to him, like the elder Sperino.
Oh, so he's kind of like owning it, like he called me a nickname and...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Michael B looks very trim, very fit. He's got that almost Rocky 3 build.
He does look pretty sculpted, but he's no Rocky in Rocky 3. That was unhealthily.
Yeah, Sly said he had to literally stand on his head to get blood to his head.
The last 15-round title fight was in 1987.
Oh, there you go. No,
So right after Rocky 4.
In Mike Tyson and Tyrell Biggs.
Oh, there you go. So Rocky 4 ended the Cold War and 15-round fights.
Yeah.
And fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with blue, with 36 fights, 28 KOs. He's the light heavyweight champion of the world, Pretty Ricky Conlan.
He just looks doughy, though.
I know.
Just in comparison, it's just such a stark contrast.
Let's go.
It's funny because in real life, he would beat the living shit out of Michael B. Jordan in a fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if this is a real fight, oh, yeah, my money's on a Pretty.
Maybe I'm just vain, but if I'm going to be in like a major motion picture and my shirt's going to be off for a good portion of it, if I'm a dude.
Oh, I was going to say, what movie?
Or even if I'm a girl and I have to wear like a swimsuit or something, like I'm going to get in shape. Wouldn't you guys?
Oh, yeah. Well, I watch Survivor. My wife and I watch Survivor all the time. That's exactly what those contestants do. There's no way all those contestants, not all of them, but you can see a lot of them are very sculpted. I suspect a lot of the girls get breast augmentation in the meantime. It seems like a lot of them are like, not every average person looks like that. So I would imagine the same idea. I'm going to have my shirt off. I'm going to probably drop a few pounds.
There's been a few people, like a very small minority, who have been heavier. It was a condition of them coming on the show that they'd keep their weight on.
Really?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I guess you got to cast a bigger person. They want that to be in the show, yeah.
Well done, lads. You know what I expect of you both? We talked about it in the locker rooms. I want you to protect yourselves and obey my commands at all times. No low blows, no silly business. Keep it clean with you. Understand? Touch gloves.
Nice shorts, boy. Too bad your daddy ain't need to fight in them.
Kyle, I like that one.
It feels like Adonis's character is really trying too hard to put on a mean stare. It seems like he was putting effort into it, where Conlon wasn't. Like, he wasn't being silly or anything, but he was just, I don't care about you. And then he does that comment, that psychological comment at the end, of course, about his dad, which is a bit risky, because if you piss someone off, some people fight better, but some people that could shake them up. So it depends on the person.
I know he's trying to get in his head, and maybe having your opponent angry isn't helpful.
It's a thing in Rocky movies, though. There's always some memorable line at this point. Dead meat, you will lose. Too bad your daddy's not here to fight for you. You know, like.
In boxing, it's really important to, or in any fighting, professional fighting, it's important to be disciplined. Stick to your program. For example, if someone in like a boxing match will often take a hit and they won't take a wild swing back. They might take it as part of their program because they don't want to expose themselves to a larger hit. That's like the disciplined method of fighting. And so if you piss someone off, they might not be as disciplined. They expose themselves to risk a bit more. So that's kind of one advantage of pissing someone off. But then other people like Muhammad Ali, if you pissed him off, he's like on his game even more. Chuck Wepner, he knocked Ali down, which embarrassed him and pissed him off. And then Ali just massacred him the rest of the entire fight, right? Like, it didn't shake him up. It did kind of the opposite effect.
So Pretty Boy mentioned the shorts. So again, I forget her conclusion. Those weren't the shorts that Apollo wore, but his colors.
They're not the actual shorts.
That's where it's still kind of confusing for an audience or casual viewers. Like, oh, those are the Apollo shorts, because he's making the comment, too bad your dad's not wearing those shorts. They're the colors, not the actual same material. Roger that. Understood. Okay.
You know what? You're going to close his big mouth, okay?
You know what to do. Mm-hmm. One step, one punch, one round at a time. You got this.
The fight's about to begin. Both his girlfriend and mother are nervous.
Ricky Conlon in the black trunks and Adonis Creed in the red, white, and blue. Conlon is significantly taller and thinks it will be easy to use his jab to keep young Creed at bay.
You can see right away, Jim, how much more relaxed Conlon is. He's been there before. That kind of nervous.
That other announcer, was he the one that was in Rocky Balboa as well? The younger one.
Oh, yeah. They were both in Rocky Balboa. They just don't have the older guy that I hated. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Larry Mint. That's who it is, who's not there. But those other two guys, they're the exact same people.
I've forgotten that. Just did Rocky Balboa recently, but I had forgotten. I didn't make the connection when I saw the Creed film. I didn't make the connection. Those were the same two announcers. So that's kind of cool. A little carryover there from the same announcers.
Yeah, and those are like real HBO boxing people.
Right.
Where are you at as the fight goes on?
Hard left hook by Conlon. Creed backs off.
It's not easy to just jump right into the major leagues like this, having never fought an opponent like Conlon. Of course, there aren't many fighters like Conlon.
Creed trying to get close to Conlon against the ropes. Conlon easily puts distance between them again.
Good commentary. They're doing it for us.
Conlon grins at Conlon fires a hard body punch, hits him hard with a right cross, and backs Creed into the ropes.
Ref, come on!
Keep it clean! And he gets a warning from the referee.
There was a warning. He punched kind of when they were getting broken up. So
yeah, you're not supposed to punch while the ref's breaking you up, right? Like it's a cheap shot. No cheap shots.
No cheap shots. Does that go against points or something, or how does that work?
It could. What the ref could do is he could tell the judges to take a point off. They're probably scoring under what's called the 10-point must system, which is you start out essentially each with 10 points. If you win a round with no knockdowns, you'll get the full 10. Because someone has to get 10 in this system. And then the loser would get 9. But then the loser's also knocked down. There's another point that's deducted. But then you could tell the judges to deduct a point as well.
Okay.
If there's a hit after the bell, we've seen that a number of times in Rocky movies, I sort of just assumed there was an automatic point deducted for that.
No, the judges, I don't believe, will actually deduct unless the ref instructs them to do so. Because lots of that shit happens, like low blows and stuff like that. The ref will say, like, okay, like, I'm warning you, next time I'm going to start taking points off.
Okay.
Okay.
Creed kind of woke him up with that shot, and Conlon really made him pay for it.
Creed ready to let his hands go. Creed misses and gets hit in return. On the inside.
Pretty Conlon just put Creed on the mat. Creed got him to one knee knockdown.
What do you call that, Kyle? Like a shovel?
That's a knockdown. If your knee hits the ground, that's a knockdown.
But the hit, like it was I even like kind of cringed when I saw it. That seems like it would really hurt.
The uppercut?
Is that what it is? What's a shovel hook?
Like an uppercut is straight up to the chin. A hook is to the side, and then a shovel hook's kind of in the middle.
Okay.
Like going in an upward angle, but it hooks to the side slightly.
All right. Wow. I've never heard of that before. Look at you. See, Katie, you actually asked a question that I wouldn't be able to form that question. I've never heard of that shovel hook before.
Rocky instructs Adonis to do the shovel hook against Sparino.
I missed that. That's cool. All right.
They keep showing Marianne at home watching it by herself. It was really hard for her to watch that as well. Like she's got her hands covering her face.
Well, yeah, she's got.
Can you imagine?
She's got money on him. Oh.
Well, maybe it may remind her too a bit of the Drago fight, where Apollo just got smacked around.
Yeah, well, this guy's not built like Drago, but
yeah, that is true. But you know what I mean.
I know. I was teasing.
Parallel there.
Oh yeah, she's getting triggered. The last time she saw somebody she cared about in the ring, they died.
But she's come a long way from Rocky 2, where she's like.
First of all, I love her. She's an amazing actress and one of the highlights of the movie, I think, Felicia Rashad. But I wondered, I was like, oh, why'd they cast her instead of the woman who originally played Apollo's wife? Well, she's passed on.
Yes.
I only learned that recently.
She joined Apollo. It doesn't make sense. Most of my jokes don't make any sense. Ask Doug.
Good. 4. Good. 5. Good. 6.
Shake it up. Shake it up.
But already a knockdown for Ricky Conlon.
You okay? Are you sure?
Good.
Fight!
Conlon lands a shot after the bell, and round one was all Ricky
Real for
Conlon.
you now, boy. Real for you now.
How's the eye?
No blood.
All right, look. Don't get rattled.
Knock his ass out. Do it in the next round. Don't wait.
You keep making mistakes like that, we're going to pick you up with a vacuum cleaner, okay?
Adonis was lucky there wasn't another 30 seconds in that round.
I find it interesting that Conlon's trainer there wants him to knock Adonis out as soon as possible. I think he recognizes Adonis's ability to knock someone out. And if Conlon maybe takes Adonis lightly and just toys with him for the next few rounds, something bad can happen. So I think he's saying, like, you got to take him out now. Like, don't get cocky. Just good that you want to knock him out, but just don't wait around. Get it done.
We don't need that kind of man in our life.
Exactly. I was thinking of Tony because Tony always knew Rocky's abilities, right?
Yeah.
Tony's believed in Rocky since he saw him hit the meat. I think this guy knows his guy will beat Adonis, but I think he knows his guy has to be serious in order to do so.
And he looks pretty serious.
He came out running out of his corner. He does mean business, but you're absolutely right, I think, Kyle. They don't want to take any chances.
What I like on this one, I'm glad they didn't mimic Rocky, the first film, with him knocking down Pretty Conlon out of the blue. It's kind of cool that Adonis got knocked down first. Adonis is cut first. So right away, we're realistically seeing that Adonis is in a little bit over his head with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I could not imagine being Adonis after that round. That would be a terribly demoralizing round. Adonis threw a ton of shots, but almost every single punch he threw missed except for one jab, which was immediately stifled, and then he got hurt pretty bad. I'd be like, what the hell am I going to do? All my fears of, do I belong here? Maybe I'm not going to live up to my dad's legacy. If that were me, all of that would be like crashing down on me after that round. Like, that'd be very hard psychologically to recover from.
Maybe it's a
His face
mistake.
is showing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, shit.
He's gonna jab his foot on the right. When he leaves it out there, drop that right hook and smash him, okay? Stay focused.
So round one was a forbidding experience for young Adonis Creed. And now, after a discussion with Rocky Balboa between rounds, he comes in for more. Conlon showed his power with the uppercut at the end of round one. Goes back to boxing to begin the second.
Be first. Keep the pressure on, Rick.
Logic says Creed needs to find a way to get inside of Conlon's long arms and create pressure on the inside. So far, it's still mostly Ricky Conlon. Hard left hook for Conlon. Uppercut. Drives Creed into the corner again.
Tie him up. Tie him up.
Creed wraps him up and pulls him into him to stop the onslaught.
You chant, right? Huh? You chant? So, come on. Swim.
There's a perfect right hand shot by Creed.
Yeah!
All right, so there we go. He's cut. He's cut.
Yeah, and it's a bad cut. It's the same cut as Drago, actually. Under the eye cut.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, actually.
No, I think you're right.
It was also a cool camera angle. Just for a second there, they had the camera below them looking up at them. Yeah, that was a cool shot.
Yeah, this fight is not one take.
No.
I liked how Creed, I think just because in his character here, like Adonis, was still trash talk. He was trash talking this guy, trash talking Sperino a little bit too. Even after like a severe beating in the first round, where he was obviously outclassed, he still has like the nerve to trash talk, which I think is kind of admirable, actually. Like, I like that confidence. I think in sports you need that confidence.
Right.
For me, I'd be like, oh, I'd be serious, but like I wouldn't feel like I could trash talk, right?
I would suck at trash talking. I would suck at it. I'm good with quips, but I'm not good at trash talking.
It doesn't look like after his trash talk that Conlon did anything stupid per se that made that right hook happen. But maybe he acted differently after that trash talking. Like he took a chance to take a larger shot or something where he normally wouldn't.
He's trying to knock him out in this round.
But yeah, that's huge psychological. Like if I were to cut my opponent like that after that first round, I'd more easily believe in myself now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, holy shit, I just cut that guy. I kind of evened it up. We both have cuts now.
Well, of course, because Adonis has heard the musical cue kick in. So it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Things are changing.
Creed misses wildly, and they are going toe-to-toe.
Rapidly becoming a phone booth fight. Trading punches, right hand, left hand, both guys landing.
This is unbelievable action.
Trouble hook, come on. Hard right hand by Creed.
The man loves it. If Conlon thought he had a pushover, he knows better now.
He bleed like me. You belong in here. They don't know what you've been through, and they sure don't know what we've been through.
I don't want you trading blows with him. I want you to protect yourself. Keep your distance. Must smash this kid to bits.
Now he knows you're for real. You gotta believe you can do it.
That was such a big round for Creed. Not just
The dialogue in the corner is much better in this film than other films.
Yeah.
Really good dialogue between the trainer and the boxer. So they've upped the ante on that. That's an improvement.
Hit the one in the middle wasn't good enough.
Clever, funny, but the dialogue here is more legit, and it's really good. Like, he knows you're for real. Like, you belong here. That's really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first movie where you actually hear technical advice on the corners. Like in the other Rockies, you'd be like, take it to him, run him over, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where
You're an Italian tank, a greasy tank, run over him.
where Rocky in this film is like, okay, when he comes up with the jab, you do the right hook when his hand's down. Like, you don't hear that in any of the other movies. I think at the end of that round, once Conlon got cut, his ego was hurt too, and he stood toe to toe and traded punches. Where that's not his strong suit. His strong suit is the distance because he has the reach and he has the skill. He could have kept his jab up and still probably won that round, even though he got cut.
Did you catch the little moment there when Adonis was like, yeah, you bleed like me? And he took his glove and licked it.
Oh,
I did not. I did not. That's gross.
Pretty Conlon took the glove because I guess he wiped his brow with the blood and he licked his glove really quick.
Oh,
Conlon did or Adonis did?
No, Conlon.
Oh.
Oh.
Let me say,
I thought you meant. I misunderstood what you meant.
Yeah, so Adonis says you bleed just like me, and I think he quickly wiped the blood onto his glove and licked it. So, like, yeah, I got blood here. Who cares? And he licked his own blood. Very quick.
One thing I'll say is Conlon's cut is a much better cut than Creed's cut. Because the problem with Creed's cut is it drips into your eye while you're fighting.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Well, Conlon's cut just drips onto your face, which is not that big of a deal, right?
Yeah.
And this is the Rocky movies, so cuts don't actually mean anything. Like, usually if you get cut, that's a big problem because the doctors will stop it after a certain point. Or if your eye closes, they'll actually stop it. But in the Rocky movies, do you still have a heartbeat? Okay, cool. Let's do this.
Indeed.
I just got word here. I'm looking in our Twitter chat. I guess of the title. I thought I changed the title. It says that we're reviewing Nighthawks, but we're not. It's
so you're gonna be either
funny.
happy or disappointed.
Oh, this freaking streaming services. I always think I got to figure it out, and then I always mess it up. Oh, well. Okay, let's. Who cares?
You just keep punching, Ryan.
Just keep punching. Keep moving forward.
Just on the scorecards, but psychologically going forward, Jim.
You woke up a sleeping giant. He's gonna come after you with everything he's got.
Adonis, looking more and more comfortable against the champ, seems to have found his rhythm.
Go and finish him off.
This has devolved
One punch at a
into
time.
a slugfest.
Conlon trying to punish Creed at short range.
Big combination to end the third by Conlon, and Creed does not know where he is, walking to the wrong corner there.
His arm is long.
That was a real quick round.
Game, Donnie.
Yeah.
Be patient. One step, one punch.
I love the way the ref very gently and subtly points him to where his corner is.
That's right. Yeah.
I think that's great filming. That's a really nice touch. I've never been punched in the face super hard. Like, I've been punched in the face before, but not by a professional athlete. I've never really been hit in the head super hard. But I imagine, like, if you have someone who knows what they're doing, hit you in the head multiple times, like, yeah, you could not know where you are. Like, you could be mixed up.
Oh, I'm sure it's very disorienting. Your adrenaline's going, you got sweat and blood in your eyes. And have you ever been punched in the face, Katie? Sorry.
I have not. I have had concussions, though, and it hurts just to watch this because their brains are just like sloshing around in their head
It's true. True
as
story.
they're getting punched.
There you go.
One step, one punch, one round at a time.
Round 5 of the scheduled 12, and already it's a far different fight than most experts expected.
He's just a pretender. He's lucky to be in the same ring with you hitting him, okay? Remember that.
Adonis Creed has succeeded in pressuring Ricky Conlan and making him fight.
Well, here we go to that slow motion. The crowd's faded out. It's just the two fighters focusing on each other.
Creed has proven plenty in this fight. He's taken it, he's given it back, but he does not look like a match for the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
I had forgotten he did that, that was unique. Nice touch.
Yeah, it's definitely a callback to Rocky 2 did it first. Rocky 1 didn't do any slow motion. Rocky 2 did the slow motion. So it's kind of that...
I'm sorry. Yeah, not the slow motion, but it just got dark and it only focused on the two fighters in addition to it. Like, I don't think we've seen that before. And
we've never had the crowd purposely blacked out, except for the first Rocky because they didn't have a crowd.
You're going through hell out there, but you're hurting him too. I can see it in his eyes. You're not as far behind as you think. Shorten that jab, shorten the distance, get underneath him, and you'll be able to rip him. You're going to push him back.
Most critics didn't think Creed could make it this far.
Step under.
There are moments when Creed is assertively taking over. But there's a hard counter right, drives Creed back into the corner. Just when it appears Creed might be taking control, Conlan comes close to knocking him down.
Use that pressure. You are the one that's in the driver's seat. He's not used to this level, all right?
Get him on the rope. Get him on the rope. Get him on the rope. Deep breath.
What's best?
Hey. It's you against you.
Me against you?
That's right. He's just in your way. Got it. Get him out of the way. Let's go.
And not only is...
What do you think of that advice? It's you against you. Like, how would you take that if that was you actually in the corner fighting? I know what he's trying to say, but I don't know if that would help me personally.
I agree. I did know Donnie just immediately says, okay, yeah, it's me. Yeah, like he just immediately takes it. And I thought that was a little unrealistic that he wouldn't, immediately he accepted it.
I think the only way for that to work would be if during their training, which we didn't see, but if Adonis was, say, doing poorly in sparring or not trading well enough, Rocky used that phrase before, that it's like you against you, like it's not your sparring partner, it's not this or that, it's in your own mind. And then that was built up during the training. And then when he said it in the ring here, it harkened back to that. Then he could be like, yeah, okay, if it was referring to, but if Rocky just came up with that before, and I guess like now that I'm thinking back to it, when Rocky had him in the mirror earlier in the film, this is your toughest opponent, is you.
That makes sense for the training part.
If Adonis remembers that when Rocky says it, I could see him agreeing. But yeah, otherwise he'd be like, what?
Rocky also said something very similar to Apollo before Apollo's Drago fight. Do you think maybe this fight's not, do you think it's maybe not against... I can't remember what his words were, but essentially, and he was like,
do you think this fight's more about you against you, and then instead of you against them?
I really do think you have brain damage still.
Yeah, that's both Creeds fighting their own inner demons. But in this moment, it's kind of like, it's you against you, but he's just in the way. Well, yeah, he's in the way, and he's kicked the crap out of me, man. Like, he is in the way, but boy, he's a real pain in the ass to remove. Yeah, but I get it. But again, the dialogue, I'm noticing the dialogue in the corner is a definite highlight here.
Creed still in the ring. He may be in
I
the
like
fight.
the dialogue in the corner so far.
Hard left hand by Creed.
Conlan was an overwhelmingly heavy favorite, hounding young Creed with right hands, as you saw right there.
Bring back everything that's ever hurt you. All the pain you had inside.
Yeah. Now, there's been lots of blood in the other Rockies. But like the blood going on the floor there, you seeing the corner people getting ready to ice and stuff like that. You kind of see like the brutality of the fight more here than you do in the other films.
It is somehow more cringeworthy.
Yeah, like when you see the blood hit the floor there, like not the bucket, it's on the floor, it's spilling, but it all seems very clinical. Like no one cares. Like it's just like, well, whatever. Like this is the fight. You get more of the sense that they really are getting hurt. Like, of course, in Rocky 1, you have the cut me scene where that fake blood comes down. But here, this looks like real blood. It looks terrible. You really kind of get into their suffering here.
Good point.
Agreed.
Put it in both fists, and I want you to drive it through his body, and I promise you, his head will fall.
We're into the part of the fight where all your instincts come into play. Most experts expected that Conlon would avoid trading shots with Creed, but he's trading willingly.
Creed fires a hard body punch. Conlon in trouble. Hard left hand to the body.
The champ is in bad shape, Jim.
Creed realized he has a better chance of hurting Conlon to the body than to the head.
What an uppercut! And Creed staggers back.
Body, body, body!
To the body, trading shots.
Pawing with his jab, Creed looks to land one big shot.
So that's a great knockout scene or knockdown scene filmed there by Michael B. Taking his own bump on the canvas. How do they do that with the mouth? I always wondered in the films, do they actually just move their mouth themselves? Because they're not really impacted, but when they're like, you know what I mean? When it does that floppy, because they did in the early Rocky films before CGI. You could argue there they might be able to CGI it a little bit, manipulate it a little bit, but it's really effective when he does that mouthy move and the blood fly. Or the blood's probably CGI or something, but
I had some dental work done this week. The whole side of my face was frozen.
Oh, wow.
So I was letting my daughter punch me in the face as much as she wanted because I couldn't feel it at all. So maybe they do something like that.
she breaks a tooth.
There is impact, like in the earlier movies. I'm wondering if they did film it, and even though they're not hit hard, they're contact enough that it actually does move your face, and just when you focus on it in a slow-mo fashion. Knowing
Sly, knowing Adonis, knowing these guys, I'm sure Tony Bello, who plays Conlon, I'm sure he has no problem. Go ahead and spar and hit me in the face for the effect of the film. You can, if you're watching the film without sound effects, you can kind of tell they're not fully they're hitting, and the sound effect, of course, boom, tap, tap, boom. It's just like when you're wrestling with your kid. And if you were to add sound effects to my wrestling, it might sound and look like I'm beating the crap out of them with the sound effects. So they're definitely contacting because it looks better. But you can see that they're withholding. It's not a full punch, obviously. But with that face shot that Adonis did, it's a really good shot because he gets hit. I would assume you're going to get a little bit of a tap on the head, and you're going to go down. And they probably did a few takes. And you go on YouTube, and I believe it's not real. I mean, I think it was this scene. There, or at least them practicing this scene of Adonis getting hit and getting knocked down, because people are like, oh, look at that, Michael B got knocked out in real life. But you'll see it's a behind the scenes type thing where he gets punched by Tony Bello and Adonis goes down, but I would assume it's probably preparing for this scene.
You have a saying that you for these movies called the dead man walking scene.
Dead man walking scene. When you do a Rocky film, for some reason, we've decided to have this kind of initiation that you have to get clobbered, usually by a man infinitely stronger and larger, such as Carl Weathers, who's brilliant, he played Apollo Creed, but you're talking about a world-class athlete.
Getting punched, really punched.
Oh, my God. If you want to know the weather for next week, boom.
Yeah, really, yeah.
I see rain and start. And so anyway.
Who hit you the hardest, do you know?
Dolph Lundgren put me in the hospital for 4.5 days.
Dolph Lundgren, really?
It was unbelievable. I mean, really.
What did he do?
He hit me so hard in the chest that the next thing I know, I was on a low-altitude flight to intensive care at St. John's Hospital, surrounded by 4 nuns.
Oh, my God.
I thought,
this is the end right there.
Yeah.
Really?
St. Peter, don't you call me?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it was one of those things. Yeah.
So Michael B. Jordan goes...
So Michael B. Jordan goes, hey, man, I'm part of the Rocky family. I said, no, you're kind of like dead man walking because unless you take the shot, you really can't be part of the family. He goes, well, bring it on. So I go to the other fellow who was a world champion, and I said, just give a little hip to it. Now, when a real pro hits you, it isn't like you see in these barroom brawls or these westerns, a big punch. It's boom. Next thing you know, you are talking to angels. And... It's really unbelievable when a pro hits you. So Michael goes, bring it on. I have no, if you can do it, I'm going to do it. So I say, be careful what you wish for, Michael.
This is a clip. This is real. And see, this is a clip of them filming behind the scenes, but made it into the movie. Here's Michael B. Jordan getting the dead man walking scene, getting clobbered. Watch this. It's real.
Background SWAT team and action.
The band loves it.
I mean, wow. Wow.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. And you did how many Rocky movies?
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. I swear, it really doesn't.
Oh my God.
No.
One thing I want to mention too is that the knockdown actually didn't look that bad. Like when he fell, one thing I cringe at when I see a knockdown in boxing is when their head like really hits the canvas hard and it like bounces up. I'm always like, ugh.
Right.
He fell really on his shoulder. His head just kind of tapped on the canvas right at the end. So it's still terrible. Like it would be horrible to get knocked down like that. If he got hit really hard and his head just smacked the canvas there, he'd be done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see if he recovers from being knocked down. I hope so.
I have a feeling he won't. It's over.
Okay.
It's done.
It's over. Movie's over.
Donnie, get up!
Get up, dude!
It's nuts!
What happened there is he's on the canvas and his Rocky life is flashing before his eyes. Anything that was filmed for the Rocky series, he's able to see. Sorry. But it's a nice little moment. He's seen himself as a child when Marion adopted him, his time as a boxer.
Time with Bianca.
Yeah, time with Bianca. Yep. Then the last image is really cool. It's a fight that he's seen 100 times on YouTube, right? Of Apollo, his father, and Rocky fighting. And that image of Apollo coming into his mind, kind of like the angel on his shoulder, gets him off the mat.
Do you think he was unconscious for a second? Because he seems like he woke up, right?
He got his bell rung.
Yeah. The way that I took it, I kind of forgot about that too, that happened. But it was cool because the second that he regains his air is where they show Apollo. Is he becoming his dad or is he becoming his own? The imagery is sort of like he's becoming his dad.
Or you could argue he's now, instead of resenting his dad, he's drawing strength from him.
Oh, yeah.
This right here is reminiscent. This is the second to last round, right near the end, and he gets knocked down, just like how Rocky got knocked down by Apollo, and Apollo's cheering. He just won the fight because he's convinced he won. And then Rocky, against all odds, gets up, and then Apollo's shocked, and the exact same things happen. Adonis is a boxer, the child of Rocky and Apollo. Like, he has features of both fighters. Like, he's not like either of them, but he goes to the body a bit like Rocky. He's a bit of a brawler like Rocky, but he also has kind of more finesse than Rocky had. Both Apollo and Rocky could take a punch, but he kind of has that heart like Rocky where he gets up just kind of the last second. We never see Apollo do something like this because he was never in that position.
Right.
All very good points.
As always. Here we go. He's going to get up.
Creed just got up like a man possessed. He was out.
Down but not out. Conlon thinks he's celebrating a knockout. He's getting up. But the referee
He's getting
is
up.
dusting Creed's gloves. Creed beats the count. And the action
Begins again.
That's the heart of a champion. He has his daddy's heart, I'll tell you that much.
Donnie, be ready. Hey, more work to do for Conlon. Body shot. Body shot. Trying to set Creed up one more time.
Stitch has done a great job over that right eye, but now the left eye looks like it's almost shut.
Close enough.
Is he okay?
It's okay.
I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
I'm good. You're good? I'm good, all right. You sure about that? I am.
He's taken a lot of punishment to both the body and the head. Left eye completely closed.
Let's stop this thing.
No, let me see the eye.
So obviously he's getting beaten up pretty good. Bianca's worried. She came to the corner asking if he was okay, and now Rocky's getting kind of like, oh boy. Can you imagine the guilt that's running through his head? Do I stop this thing?
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, like, I'm going to stop this fight. No. There's just so many things. I mean, I guess there's only so many storylines you can do, but even it's Rocky. This is Rocky rebooted because that fight. Apollo couldn't believe Rocky got up, and he made that expression in disbelief. Pretty Ricky does the same thing here. Do you like it, or is it a bit much?
It is a little bit much for us who have seen the Rocky films, know them very well, but you could argue, and there's a lot of people who had not seen the Rocky films, or it had been so long, or whatever. There was a different audience that never saw the Rocky films. They didn't watch a film about a white Italian guy boxing, so why would they? And they were younger generations. So a lot of younger kids, like anywhere from probably 12 to 20, flooded the Michael B. Jordan line to see him.
Yeah.
They never saw the Rocky film. So for them, this was all kind of a new idea that this guy's out, but the guy's celebrating, he comes back up. So it might be an old storyline for us, but this is for a new audience, new generation.
Yeah, good point.
Agreed.
Creed. But you're right. For us, we kind of saw the beats.
Time! Doc, give him a look.
Show me your eye. Show me your eye, Adonis. How many fingers? How many fingers?
Okay, so this is important. So for our listening audience, I guess that's not the ref, but that must be the doctor. He's showing a certain number of fingers to see if Adonis can see through his left swollen eye. And I believe Rocky taps him on the shoulder to tell him how many.
It's not Rocky. It's Stitch.
4.
Is that Stitch?
Rocky doesn't have gloves on this whole time. I originally thought it was Rocky 2 when I first saw this. And then the second time I watched it, I was like, it's not Rocky. It has to be, I think it's Stitch.
You're right. I always thought it was Rocky up until just now. But then when you said the glove thing, you changed my mind.
Rocky just said, I want to stop this fight. So I don't think he's going to help him continue fighting when he can only see out of one eye.
Good call.
This doctor's an idiot. This doctor is the stupidest doctor in the world. He's asking a guy whose eye is like completely closed. How many fingers am I looking? He knows he...
It's a cool scene,
I guess
though.
he's guessing right.
Yeah, you're right. And the guy with Stitch, well, I guess it was... First off, Katie, good catch. Because you got me and Kyle on that, so good for you. Look at you coming in strong. I thought it was Rocky as well. The Stitch, slap in the neck. The doctor had his hand there too, or something as well. You'd be able to feel the tap. I don't know. It's weird how the doctor didn't feel like tap, tap, tap. You see that? The doctor's hand was on the neck as well. Anyways.
Oh, I thought he just...
or the eye. Sorry, yeah.
Eye.
That's right.
Still, you're right. I think he should be aware of this type of trick.
Maybe the doctor's like, I don't care. I did my job. If they want to lie. Yeah. I asked the question. They're going to lie about it. It's not up to me.
Yeah.
So there's one round left. What could happen, right?
Yeah, Apollo was killed in one round, but what could happen?
Time in!
All right, breathe through your mouth.
Oh, actually, go back. Watch the doctor's face. He actually looks up and look at the look he gives Stitch. Watch.
How many, Adonis?
4.
And again.
2.
You see that?
It was a look like he passed. He's like, I don't like this, but he passed.
Okay.
I'd be wondering, did he just guess right twice? You have a 1 in 5 chance each time. It's not like winning the lottery, right? You could conceivably guess right both times.
Good point.
I'm in!
All right, breathe through your mouth. Deep breaths, kid. Deep.
You are up on the cards. You're winning this. You are going to win this. But just keep smart and keep away from him. He's going to sleep this time. He's going out this round.
I should have stopped this fight with your father. I'm stopping this one now.
Okay, let me
Can we
finish.
pause for a sec?
Of course.
I got to prove it.
This is also reminiscent of Rocky 2, when the guy's like, you've won this. You got it on the cards. Just keep your distance. That's like, you got to beat him on points, you understand? Don't go for the knockout. Don't go for the knockout. He's going to fall. He's going to fall. It's like the same.
Such a guy.
It's his last fight, though, so I kind of don't blame him.
Good point. He's like, what am I going to lose? I'm going to jail whether I win or lose this fight. I want to beat this guy, right? I want to knock him out. It's a big moment where Adonis says the big thing here. Here we go. Listen.
Just keep smart and keep away from him. He's going to sleep this time. He's going out this round.
I should have stopped this fight with your father. I'm stopping this one now.
Okay, let me finish. I got to prove it.
Prove what?
I'm not a mistake.
Look at me. I never got a chance to thank Apollo for helping me out after Mickey died. But it's nothing compared to what you've done. You taught me how to fight again, and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna fight this thing. But if I fight, I want you to fight too. I want you to go across this ring and knock that son of a bitch down. Can you do it? Say it.
I'm going to knock that son of a bitch down.
I know you are. You know why? Because you're a Creed, and I love you, kid.
Go on.
All right, baby, let's go.
There you go.
I'd be crying. I'm like, I can't go fight now. You just made me cry.
That's funny.
You're a Creed? That seemed weird to me. I don't know why. But there's something about that where I'm like, I don't buy that.
Well, he just finished saying that his dad meant a lot to him. He never got a chance to thank his dad for helping him after Mickey died. So he's saying that his dad was in his emotional corner. You've been in my emotional corner. Now be a Creed and go out there and kill this guy like your dad would do.
I Love You, Kid reminded me of Mickey.
Yeah,
it's like more Rocky becoming like Mickey. I just thought of the way that doctor, could test him is just not hold any fingers up and ask him how many fingers.
Tricked you.
Yeah, it's like he can't tap, right? And then if he's like 2, it's like, yeah, no.
That's right. Yeah, he would be able to tap. I'm not feeling any help behind me here because he's not holding any up. Oh, very good point. All right, the music kicks in. We'll go back a little bit here because the music's about to kick in.
Say it.
I'm going to knock that son of a bitch down.
I know you are. You know why? Because you're a Creed, and I love you, kid.
Go on.
Go get him, Donnie.
Round 12 begins. Virtually no one outside of Adonis Creed's family and group of friends would ever have expected to see him in a 12th round against Pretty Ricky Conlon, and trading shots as they come to these last 3 minutes.
And there's a hard left hook upstairs.
Every time you want to say it's the beginning and the end, the other guy comes through with a shot you can't believe.
Hard right hand by Conlon.
Come on, don't sit there.
They're trading shots in the kind of back and forth action that most of us didn't expect to see. Creed getting hit with some hard shots, but landing some of his own, and Adonis is firing back. Another pitched battle between the two warriors.
Come on, kid.
Creed spins, puts the champ in the corner.
Body.
Throwing body shots like he's Rocky Balboa. Going upstairs like he's Apollo Creed.
Closing seconds of the fight.
That's what I'm talking about.
Conlon is down. That is the first time in his career he's been on the canvas. You cannot be saved by the bell in the 12th and final round.
Ricky, get up. Stay down.
Six.
Dramatic count for Liverpool. He must get up to preserve his chance to win the fight.
You're right. Look at me. All right. He's off.
What?
The bell sounds, so Conlon survives the 12th.
1 second, man. 1 second, 1 second only. It's very hard of a man of my intelligence to handle.
So a couple things here. So Marianne was like, yeah, knock his ass down or whatever. So she's into it. She's invested.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's
I
right.
love her. I love her.
Yeah, she was great. I remember the theater. Everyone laughed at that. They thought it was great. Like the fun laugh. They thought that was a fun break of the tension.
I love that round. I used to watch clips of that on YouTube after I saw the movie. It was a great fight. If you had to rank Rocky fights and include this fight in that, I think it's there. Like, I don't know if it's the best one, but it's up there.
It looks good. It's the boxing hits are done well. You got a real boxer in there with it. Like, yeah, it's well shot, of course. The hits are real. Everything lands. There's no air shots like in Rocky 3 when Sly's hitting Mr. T and there's like this much space between. This is filmed very well. Remember that? You remember like Mr. T's.
Quit harping on Mr. T, Ryan. No. Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. It's funny that you guys say that. I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want to nitpick.
Greg the First hates our show, by the way. He's probably stopped listening. They don't. Go ahead.
So I agree. Good round, a lot of drama, a lot of good emotion. You know, it's all coming together. I don't disagree with any of that. But I found myself thinking several times watching this fight, oh, that wasn't done well. The choreography or the hitting or something, like it didn't seem as real. And there was another one just in that moment where Pretty Ricky misses this, and it was a terrible miss. It just was clear that they're acting, I guess, is the best way I could put it.
That's what you saw. That's what you felt. I mean, you can't.
Well, it's certainly nothing like a real boxing match.
No.
Because real boxing matches are so, like most of them.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there is a couple. If you YouTube Hagler versus Hearns first round, it was in the 70s, I think 1975.
Right.
It was a middleweight fight, I believe. One of the most explosive rounds in all of boxing. Would put one of these rounds to shame. Aside from that, generally speaking, it's way more boring than this is.
Of course.
They're constantly hitting each other. So to me, it's so unrealistic anyways. I don't, it's just pretend. If they do a wild swing like that, it doesn't bother me. It don't bother me none.
Because Sly is known for doing his own, there's no body double. Like, it's him. And he's actually being hit a lot of the times. Like, he gets, to his detriment, he gets hurt a lot. So I think there was more, when he was being hit, it seemed more real probably because there was a more real element to it. Michael B's not trying to, he's got to go on and make a bunch of movies with his pretty face. So he's not trying to, I don't know.
No, that's fair. Those are all fair arguments. I just wanted to point out before we finish off of the film here, in part one, Rocky really wanted to go the distance. And then all he cared about was Adrian. Now, I'm not slighting Adonis' character, but in this moment, it's real. You can't argue that. It doesn't lessen his character, per se, but you could tell he's legit upset that Pretty Boy got up. He's
Oh,
pissed.
you think?
Watch when he sees that Conlon gets up and the bell is rung, because he knows he didn't win on points. Watch when he hits the canvas. Maybe I'm wrong because we didn't play it past a couple of seconds.
Okay.
But when he hits the canvas, it looks like he's legitimately like, oh my goodness, he got up on the before the bell rang.
At a count for Liverpool, he must get up to preserve his chance to win the ball.
You're right. Look at me. Look at me. All right. He's up.
What? The bell sounds, so Conlon survives the 12th round.
I don't know. It's tough. Maybe everything that he went the distance, he didn't win.
I thought it was a celebratory thing. That's how I took it.
It looks like he's pained. But yeah, it looked like maybe he's just exhausted too and celebration. Yeah, I don't know, but it looked pained.
I swear we've had this conversation. And I thought you said something about how he hits his glove on the ground near the end.
That's Creed 2, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he hits his glove on the ground. I'm torn. I don't know. I honestly don't know why he went on his knees like that. Because it very well could be he's upset. Or he could be just like glad it's over. Like he survived. He went the distance. He
It's
knocked
ambiguous.
him down. I don't know.
What'd you say, Ryan?
It's ambiguous.
It is. I guess it's my interpretation was that he was relief, proud of himself. I did it. I knocked him down. I didn't expect necessarily to win this. That's why I assumed he wasn't that upset. Of course, he's disappointed and would have loved for him not to get up. The other reason I thought it was celebratory was because everybody in his corner is also like ecstatic and about to rush him. Or did I mistake that?
No, I just think in that moment it's hard to say. He had a pain grimace on his face but it could be exhaustion. He has a mouth guard in. It's hard to tell. So yeah, I guess it's up to the viewer to think what might be going through his head.
Yeah. This is a good thing to email us about, viewers.
We may have a new champion. An unforgettable fight on an unforgettable night. He's no longer just the namesake of Apollo Creed. He's the living embodiment.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for these two warriors in the ring. To the winner by split decision. And still the undefeated champion of the world, Pretty Ricky.
Hey, Donnie, you were robbed. If this fight had been 10 seconds longer, 10 seconds.
I'm irritated that it was a split decision.
That you don't feel like anybody would have ever judged it to go in Adonis's favor?
No. I think it was pretty well established that Conlon was ahead on points. They're making it a split decision to harken back to the first Rocky.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Rocky Balboa was a split decision. Like, there's this weird split decision fetish. I don't know.
No, that's a good point. Yeah. Too many split decisions. They just should say Conlon won straight up. All the judges agreed that he had the better fight.
Now, that said, if this was a 15-round fight, I think Adonis would have won. I think Conlon was worn down. And I think if they had 12-rounders back in the 70s when Rocky was fighting, he would have been finished. Like, he needs those last 3 rounds to kind of, like, that's where he really gets going, is those last few rounds. Like, that's where he really, like, his opponent tires out and Rocky steps in and takes over. And I think Creed has that capability too, at least in this fight. So
he's only got one eye, though.
That eye didn't seem to stop him in that round, though. His eye was closed the whole round. In reality, you would think not seeing out of one of your eyes would be detrimental, but maybe it's just all instinct.
So Rocky says, "You did good, kid." And he even says, "Yeah, had that round gone 10 more seconds, you would have won." So he knew it.
You're going to get it, chum. You the future of this division. You wear that name with pride. Respect.
Congratulations, Adonis, on a sensational effort.
Look, I just want to thank my mom. She's at home. I love you, even though I know she's mad at me for doing this. Hope y'all made her proud. You almost gave me a heart attack, but I'm proud of you. I got my family right here. Without them, none of this would have been possible.
Rocky, Apollo Creed's son looks at you and says family. What does that mean to you?
It means I'm a lucky guy. What can I say? The kid, he's a real fighter, and he's helping me fight a few things, so I appreciate it. I really
appreciate it.
Adonis, I know you never met your father, but if he was here tonight, what would you want to say to him?
I just tell him that I love him. And I know he ain't leave me on purpose. I'm proud to be a Creed.
Thanks, Adonis, and congratulations on a sensational performance. Jim?
Creed.
Go on. Talk to him.
So usually they interview the winner of the fight first.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
Of course they're not going to do that because it's the movie. It never occurred to me till now. it does kind of make sense they'd interview him because it's kind of Conlon's expected to win the fight.
Right.
In Creed, everyone just likes him because he did so much better than they thought he would do. Plus, he's a Creed, and he's kind of the reason this fight happened anyway. So it does make sense they'd interview him first. I don't know. It just kind of.
Is it realistic that the crowd is chanting Creed and not who won the fight? And we're in England?
I don't know much about MMA or boxing matches, like being the live crowd, but you could argue the crowd got their money's worth, and they saw two fighters going the distance. Their homeboy still won, and they're just tipping their hat to like, man, this guy put our champion to the edge. They watched an incredible event. Like if that fight was quote unquote real, this crowd is pretty stoked that this fight went the way it did. It must have been an emotional roller coaster for them. So they're giving their respect, saying, "Hey, Creed, you respect."
Oh no, I was just gonna give Pretty Ricky props for how he handled their post-fight meeting. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was nice. He goes, "Yeah, you're the future of the division."
Well, he said that in kind of like, I'm not going to say loving, but kind of like a mentoring kind of way. Very gentle. Like, you're the future of this division. Like, he said that very softly.
The bravado was gone. Like, he was that whole, like, in his face and the integrity. It's not him. He's just like, okay, now the fight's over. You know, man. Just like, hey, can we have a Polaroid together? You know, it's all.
He didn't see Creed as the silver spoon kid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He sees him as a legitimate fighter. He knocked that guy down. No one's ever knocked him down. He took his punches well. He put up a good fight. He handled himself okay there. And to answer your question, Katie, I don't think it's realistic they'd chant Creed. I do think they'd cheer and applaud for him after he said that. I think he'd get a good ovation for that, especially since it was referring to the former champion Apollo, like his dad. So in that sense, yeah. Them going Creed, I don't think so. That's just a very Rocky universe. In the Rocky universe, like even the Soviets are like, Rocky.
This crowd is up on its feet. No one wants to leave the arena. Everyone in here knows they've seen something special, a fight they'll never forget. Ricky Conlon wins the fight. Adonis Creed wins the night.
Imagine paying, say, like in the 80s to see a Tyson fight where it was almost certain it would be less than 3 minutes.
I know.
Like, you go there for the spectacle of just seeing someone get knocked out super fast, but then it suddenly turns into like a 45, or I guess in this case, a 36-minute back and forth tilt.
So for our listeners, get another van. They parked at the bottom of the Rocky Steps, which is ideal parking.
Mm-hmm. You cannot park there. That's like a busy, I think it's like a traffic circle.
Just want to see if I can get up.
If you're Rocky Balboa, you can.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's my favorite place. When you get to the top, you think you can fly.
Did you catch that? He says when you get to the top, you think you can fly. I'm going to fly now.
Mm-hmm. I never picked up on this before, but I find it very interesting. Adonis never runs up these stairs during the training in this film. They're not included. And unlike most of the other movies, they're taking it very slow up the steps.
Like, because Rocky's got cancer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I didn't even think of that.
No, because you're still seeing it. You're seeing him as Stallone, but no, the character but Rocky, he's got
even
cancer.
So, even if like there's a legitimate reason they're going up slow, that he has cancer, you don't see that in other films. Like there's a different spirit to the steps here. Like they're kind of reinventing it.
He hobbled up them the first time in the first.
Yeah,
Rocky.
that's true. It's true.
Every year these steps get taller and taller. This part right here, this was interesting. So he's bent over.
Come on, young man. Just let me catch my breath.
Come on, no breaks. We rest at the top.
Submit it.
Nah, that's what you asked for, right? Let's go, one step at a time. Come on.
And it's hard to watch the Rocky character suffer.
Step at a time. Who told you that?
Some old guy.
No, I meant that for you, not for me. I think they added a few more stuff. I don't know.
Almost there.
He said that same joke to his son in part 5.
Almost there.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Ah, good. Really good.
Right there, old man?
Yeah. Nice view.
It's a great shot there.
If you look hard enough, you can see your whole life from up here.
How does it look?
Not bad at all. And you?
Not bad at all.
I cannot tell you how cool it was to be at the top of those steps.
Oh, I'm jealous.
It was the best. You'll go there. We'll go there.
I know, we do. It was lovely and touching. I love how no one else is ever there, though. Anytime Rocky.
Yeah.
There's no tourists anywhere.
Yeah, Mike Kuna's at the bottom. Hey, yo, I can't believe you guys are here. I got my tour with me here. Yo, Rock, Adonis.
When I ran up, I had some British tourists cheering me. There was like this old British one. She's like, "Go, Rocky!"
Oh, I love it.
That's awesome. Well, there you go, guys. That is our coverage of the Creed film. We went the distance. We got her done. Our next episode will be a kind of a wrap. Did we mention this during the recording? So I'm saying this twice or not? I can't remember. Yeah, so we're going to do a wrap up for our next episode. Maybe I did mention it. But yeah, so let us... I guess you can't really let us know anything, but maybe you can... I don't know. I'm going to put it... Yeah, put it on Facebook.
You had said you were going to... Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So, if you want to give us any questions, I guess we'll read those out. Yeah, it's going to be a wrap-up party. It's just going to be deleted scenes and our thoughts on the overall season, and then we're going to roll into Creed 2. So, in that same episode, we'll talk about our hopes for Creed 2 and what our expectations are, and yeah.
So it is, I promise this is related to Creed, really more Michael B. Do you ever listen to the Rewatchables podcast? It's like these sportscaster guys.
I don't listen to any podcast that's better than me because it kills me.
Well, no, it's like a big show.
That's what I mean. These guys are like, so I mean, like, there's only like a couple podcasts I personally listen to that are of high quality. It's like, oh my gosh, they're so lucky. Like they have like 60,000 comment iTunes rating. And you're like, oh my, you can only imagine what their audience. No, I have heard of them though. I've heard them talked about in podcast circles, but yeah.
They are like famous people in their own right. And at any rate, so the format is they just cover movies that are considered really rewatchable.
Okay.
So obviously there's a Rocky IV one, and then there was just a Rambo First Blood.
Nice.
And in it, the reason I'm bringing it up is because at the end of it, so there's a segment where they talk about casting what ifs or let's say we were to remake Rambo, which they can never remake Rocky, but they were like, if we were to remake Rambo now, who should be in it? And both of them, it's two guys. And then I think sometimes they have someone else on, but it's two guys, and they both immediately were like, Michael B. Jordan. It has to be Michael B. Jordan. They were convinced that it should be a Black person. Is there no other hot young actor that is Black that they could think of? Because there's plenty of people I think that would. I just don't see. I don't think he has the look.
No, not for...
I just thought it was really strange. For Rambo?
I mean, Black's fine because, you could do obviously an updated version of like maybe he's a Iraq or Afghanistan vet, same idea. So you can make a modern day. Definitely, there's more Black soldiers now than there was in the Vietnam War. Not that it's a trope, but you could throw in the sheriff of the town would be racist, and that's not a far stretch. That would be the kind of the tipping point. But then everything else would be the same. He's on the run in the forest, chased by the cops.
That's all fine. But why did they immediately go to Michael B. Jordan?
But no, I don't see.
The only person.
I guarantee you, if they did a true casting director. You could find I can't think of the top of my head, but I'm sure I think the three of us, if we took some time, went on IMDb, we could probably find some Black actors between the ages of 25 and 35 that would. You almost have almost kind of like a grizzled type.
Well, actually, maybe he was a little bit younger, but he was like in his late 30s, I think, when he did Rambo, wasn't he?
It was 82, wasn't it? So.
And 40's the new 30. So, I think it should be Mahershala Ali. He's a little older. He was like the Green Book.
Oh yeah.
House of Cards. He's a little older, but he doesn't look it. I think he's a really good actor, very fit. He doesn't have this soft Hollywood look to him.
Yeah, I see him now. I got him here. Yeah, he's a great actor. Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart would be good, I think. Kevin Hart, he's.
Are you being serious?
No.
I was like, is that a real suggestion?
Or Tracy Morgan. I'm gonna get this whole town pregnant.
Yeah.
It was just funny, partially because we were just talking about how we love the character Adonis. There's nothing wrong with Michael B. I don't think it does come off like we're harping on him, but
we're tough on him. We're just tough on him. I don't think he's incapable. I think in this film, I think there's like Kyle brought up in our last episode, because I'm editing it right now, and he brought up a good point. Maybe he just hadn't quite figured out the character. Maybe it was rush production. I don't know, because in Creed 2 he's more likable. In Creed 2, the relationship with Bianca is more believable. Maybe they just grew as an acting couple. But Stallone and Talia Shire were able to just pull it off right away in the first film. But the second film, so you could argue maybe by the third film they're going to be really good at it, and that might be the saving grace for it. So
yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I honestly think Rocky, the original film, was as much of a fluke of like just like all the right things coming together as the actual fight portrayed in that movie. You had so many things just converge, and like the actors and the chemistry and all the circumstances around that film. It makes sense that would happen because like the law of large numbers, like eventually something like that would happen. You can't expect that to happen very often. Like that's kind of a once in a few decades type of thing.
Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Join us on the next episode. Will be the actual season finale of season 7. Pretty exciting. Yeah, give us an iTunes review. That'd be a good gift to us. If you don't want to join our Patreon or send us an email, go on iTunes, write us a review. We'll read it out. It does, believe it or not, help the feed a little bit, because what happens, people search for podcasts, they'll see there's a Stallone podcast, and if they see there's like 2 reviews, they're like, oof, nobody listens to this show. So it does help, to see like a handful of reviews come in. So we appreciate that. We appreciate it.
Ding, ding.